Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. I'm gonna be completely honest. This might be one of the worst episodes I think I've ever seen on this show. And there's been episodes where it's been amazing, it's been great. There's been some episodes where I've been like, it could have been a lot better. This one reached a whole new low. Chloe. It's almost like in almost every episode or every other episode, my opinion of Chloe just managed to reach a whole new level, which is pretty impressive because when I initially saw her, I was all star-eyed and all like, oh man, she's beautiful and she's hot and she can sing, and then Philip actually got rid of her. What was he thinking? And now I'm just like, okay, not condoning the cheating part, but maybe he kind of had the right idea as far as getting rid of her. She acts like a child in this scene with Craig. First she comes over and she's like, "I can't believe you stole Kayla's job," and I'm like, first of all, that's not exactly what happened. And instead of you accusing him, why don't you hear his side of the story before you automatically assume that he stole her job? Which, again, he didn't. She was going to get fired anyway. That's what Craig said. So he kind of just stepped in and was like, listen, if I didn't do it, somebody else would have, which is 100% true. But of course, he finds something else to whine about. Oh, well, it was Leo that put you up to it and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, yo, you do realize that your mom was the one that is probably going to wind up getting him fired from New York for her just opening up her damn mouth and spreading their family business when it wasn't necessary. You want to be angry at him, that's fine. You don't sit there and start coming at this man's job. And on top of that, you're going to sit there and out him in front of his colleagues like that? That's just wrong in itself. Nancy has been making complete and utter ass out of this whole situation. And, there's one point where he's like, listen, if you're not going to be on board with what I'm doing, you're not going to be on board with this and stop interfering. And of course, Chloe acts like a damn child. But I'm your daughter. And that means what? That means that you just have free reign to act like a spoiled little child and a spoiled little brat and sit there getting in his face and constantly sit there bad mouthing him on his decisions and what he's doing because you're his daughter? I expect somebody who is 16, who is a teenager, to be acting like that. I do not expect a grown ass woman to be acting like that. That is just so pathetic on so many different levels. This whole Chad trying to seduce Leo, I wasn't there for it. I wasn't there for it. It was uncomfortable to watch. Um, it was just uncomfortable to watch. I don't care if it was one woman that was there trying to so-called seduce another woman into sleeping with her. I still would have been uncomfortable watching. that's pretty much because he looked uncomfortable the entire time during this whole thing that he was there trying to do. So it was just really just off watching this whole thing. Um, but it does actually want it working. Craig, I think his name is. Craig does actually want it walking into it. He opens the door. He sees both of them in bed. So, I mean, what Brady said was true. Brady was like, listen, because now Chloe is having second thoughts. Now she's having second thoughts. Now she's like, man, I don't know. My dad is pretty angry with me. Leo really does love my dad? He's gonna be so mad at me if he finds out that I was the one that behind this whole scheme. Really, sweetheart? You put the plan in motion, and now you're having reservations about this whole. Hmm. Abby was not there kind of complaining about it. Yeah, he's there seducing, trying to get my husband in the bed. I'm like, and you okayed it. So, like, like, shut up about it. Like, you okayed it. You're fine with it. So, I don't want to hear all those little snide comments are just crap. Like, shut up and just deal with it. Because you signed off on it. So now you got to sit there and see this through. Stop acting like a damn crybaby about it. The Rafe and Nicole scenes were just nauseating. Just nauseating. Regardless of how I feel about, well, okay, not the same regardless of how I feel, but just their scenes were completely and utterly just was a waste of time. All they did was in a tub or in a hot tub, no, in a tub, in a bath, talk about their feelings and yeah, now we got, now that Ava's out of our lives. I'm like, you mean now that you practically just screwed over your friend and screwed over your ex-girlfriend, now you two can be together. Yep. We're all supposed to sit there and be like, yeah, I'm totally for it. And even if you want them to see them together, the way they went about it was completely and utter trash. And not even like soap opera trash. I mean, like, this guy is supposed to act like, Rafe is supposed to be this nice, kind, caring person. According to Gabby, he's supposed to be this nice, kind, caring person who begged her to stay and has no problems. Like, now we got that stupid ass Ava out the way. Like, really? And Nicole, I mean, granted, Nicole, from what I understand, used to really be a piece of work, so I'm not really too surprised. But now she turned over a new leaf, and now she's still speaking about her like, oh yeah, that person, like she wasn't your friend. Like your friendship meant absolutely nothing. Had the audacity to sit there and talk about Duke. You know what? The less I sit there and say about this complete and utter waste of a scene, the better. Now, now Orpheus, I'm gonna be honest, this whole Orpheus threatening EJ, oh, keep your mouth shut. It's better if you don't say anything, this, that, and the third. Bro, he said he wasn't gonna say anything. He knew about it. Even when he faked like he didn't know about it, he was like, no, you already told me, and I'm here to make sure that you don't say anything. Okay, cool. I'm not gonna say anything. But you better not. Okay, I'm pretty sure I just said I wasn't gonna say anything. It kind of works in my interest too, so why, we're good. It is what it is. The over threatening was just unnecessary. It almost seemed like he just wanted an excuse to sit there and have violence or do something to EJ. He tells Clyde afterwards, he was like, hey, listen, let's talk to EJ. And, he says he's not going to say anything, but I don't like his attitude. So, do I have your permission, to have your blessing to do something? To do something with him? And Clyde's like, yeah, whatever. What? This seems completely unnecessary. I can see if EJ was like, well, what if I do say something? Or he gave him any slight indication that he was going to do contrary to what he said. Then I can understand the hit. But this just seems like it's, well, completely unnecessary. But we gotta sit there and do something to get EJ into a little bit of trouble, even if it's just coming across as a bit extreme and completely unnecessary. There's other things that was completely unnecessary today. Just watch my Will Smith video. That was definitely one of them. Now Clyde is there, and Sierra's not happy. And Ben is like, listen, why don't we just kind of just chill out or whatever, just give him a night or whatever. But Sierra's like, listen, I get that you're reformed and everything like that, but you have enemies. And what if those enemies decide to come here? I'm pregnant, I'm having a baby and stuff like that. I'm like, Ben, the former serial killer who has killed multiple people and can have an enemy come at their door actually speaking. Like, what was her name? Something Donovan or um I think her name is Cassie DePie or Cassie something. The last time he had an enemy come for the last time he had an enemy come for him, a bunch of people got hurt and some people could have got killed. Um and also, well, you got kidnapped as well. So if you want to sit there and talk about enemies and enemies coming after someone, you got the serial killer, the former serial killer, standing right next to you. So on one hand, I understood where she was coming from, but on the other hand, I'm like, really? You want to start talking about people who can come back from someone for revenge, and your baby can wind up getting caught in the crossfire? Really? Anyway, Ben convinces her, to let him stay for a little bit until he can get the parole to kind of, get him somewhere else to go. So, and of course, Ben reminds her that he did them a favor by using his cell phone to track her, and otherwise they wouldn't be together. So she's like, "All right, fine, you can stay for a little bit." And he's like, "Yeah, cool." He hangs out on the couch, and of course, he gets calls from Orpheus, and he's still, pulling off some shenanigans, some criminal shenanigans, cause reasons. Oh, and Brady was in this episode too, but I'm not gonna lie, he didn't really do too much of anything. He was just talking to Abby, and Abby was sitting there whining about her husband being in bed with another man, even though she totally, okayed the plan. This episode was terrible. This episode was, here's the thing. This episode was terrible for me. This episode was terrible for me, and I felt like I kept counting down the minutes until it was over. I really did. It was. I was not here for any of this, but hopefully they can wrap this whole thing up. Since Craig caught him in the act, or it could backfire. Craig could wind up forgiving Leo, and you know Craig can be even more mad at Chloe, and Chloe could sit there and start whining and crying and acting like someone cares. I feel like that's about it. I don't think I missed too much of anything. If I did, I probably blacked it out and it's just repressing it because it was just awful and I don't really want to remember it. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.